same thing was happening with the JAY SLATER case, and the media were the first platforms to spread misinformation. All of them, all of those platforms, the Sun, the Mirror, the Times, Daily Telegraph, Metro, every single one of you published misinformation, and you're all monetized. So off the back of misinformation, you got paid. And then they've got the audacity to platform people to target content creators talking about, but they're monetized. Look, in the last video I said, we're not going to be back to talk about this one unless something mysterious happens. See, in the last video we did, we reacted to a news reporter from the Times who claimed she had spoke directly to the family. Let's just quickly refresh our memories on the clip I am referring to.
These are the 3 black women that were tragically found off of Brighton Beach. Don't want you to post about it. And I know that's not what anyone wants to hear when black women are seemingly more than once being found unalive or unconscious by open bodies of water without any explanation. But I'm a news reporter at the Times, and I spoke to the stepmother and the auntie of the 3 women who were found on that beach.
So we've just seen that, right? And the reason why I've had to re-watch this through my own video is because this news reporter that works for the Times has removed the video. You now have to ask yourself, why has she removed that video? All right, so we're going to take a look at this video right here. Very interesting. I believe this content creator goes by the name of Ayani. I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Now, she has information that's been leaked by the stepmother who was in contact with the reporter. Let's just quickly take a look at this.
So now, listen, I've got an exclusive. We've got the actual interviewer, yeah, that interviewed the auntie at JK Johnson, all right, the auntie of the 3 Brighton sisters. She posted the conversation with her and the reporter. Okay, she posted it. All right, so I've got it. Let's watch, yeah, and let's see who this Jackie Johnson person is. Let's see if there's anything to do with the 3 girls, these supposed 3 girls, Brighton girls that drowned in Brighton in the beach at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, but they came out. They were introduced to us as Jamaican, but now all of a sudden it's just pure Nigerian relatives that are the ones speaking on them, and only about the GoFundMe pages as well. No extra information, no, you know, visuals of like any pictures or anything like that. Not once. They said that they don't have a picture of all 3 of them together recently, yet they don't even have individual pictures of them as well. Except for one grainy photo, apparently, of Jade Adetorah. That's so grainy, guys. It's really weird. All the photos and stuff that are there, it's just weird photos. Everybody's photos is old. The mother's photo is also old. Guys, let's go deep into it. Go on.
Okay, so let's read the article. Hopefully they'll let me read it. So this is where it mentions the what? The Jake Johnson.
Now, I want to pause it right here because Ayani does a slight deep dive into the background of these sisters, including the mum, the dad, and it's very interesting. I want us to pay close attention to it and listen to what she's actually discovered. Because a lot of this seems fishy, and that's with no pun intended. Not only is Ayani going to raise more red flags in this video, ladies and gentlemen, but we're also going to prove that the Asian reporter working for the Times was spreading misinformation.
So the family of 3 sisters who were found dead in the sea at Brighton have spoken of the heartbreaking loss and how it echoes the loss of their mother 16 years ago. And when was this posted? Saturday, 23rd of May. That was yesterday, no? Yes, indeed. Yeah, at 3:59. Guys, you'll see all the updates. Guys, I don't think I'm being big-headed. If you've been following and watching what I've been posting, just pray it and see when these updates have been coming, because I've been doing the investigating right here, live. I've been recording it as I'm doing it. So how comes all this added information is coming after? Now all of a sudden it's available, yeah? Yeah, look at this. Jackie Johnson, the sister's aunt, described seeing news reports last week stating the bodies of 3 women had been recovered from the sea, unaware it was her own nieces. LOL. I just remember thinking, what has happened here? God bless them and their poor families, she told the Daily Mail. Emergency services were called to the beach on 13th of May after concerns were raised about a person spotted in the water near Madeira Drive at around 5:45 a.m. Don't you think this person would have been slapped all over the news and them saying exactly what it is that their last thing that they saw? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. This is what I was saying in one of the recent videos. Where is the person that made that emergency call? Another thing you have to mention at this point is if they're phoning the emergency services because they see someone struggling in the water, a person, by the way, they didn't see all 3 people struggling in the water. They just see a person spotted struggling in the water. Why did that witness not go over and help them? You just called the emergency services and decided to go home. Makes no sense. And to back Ayani up here, why has the media not got a statement or an interview from that person. Microphones, cameras in their face, letting us know what they see. Bearing in mind, we found 3 dead women, bro. Oh, I forgot they're black. So there's no real sense of urgency to try and understand what's happened here. We're just going to wrap this up and make it look like an accident. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't even mean to act that way. But it's just pretty sus at this moment in time. And there's so much more that is sus. Not just on the authority front. There's things also sus with alleged family members. Let's keep listening.
The bodies of Jane Adetoro, 36, Christina Water, 32, and Rebecca Water, 31, were later recovered from the sea. The mother of the 3 girls, Janice Adetoro, died in 2010 after she walked into a lake in Birmingham. Everybody's just walking into lakes now. Yeah? Everybody's just walking into lakes. Her body was not recovered for several months because of the weather conditions at the time, the Mail reported. Let's see. I'm going to show you the article of the mother. Yeah? Here's the mother, and remember, this was the only article that had anything that was speaking on the mother. Yeah? The only article, this one right here. The mother's the one in the square picture, yet again, old school photo. Why? Who knows? Now, I bet there's going to be more articles on the mother. Let's see. Mother of 3 sisters, Brighton. Yeah. Boom. Brighton Beach, their family of side London sisters says mother also died. That was 2 days ago. Look, see, Brighton Beach sisters never recovered after mums died in tragic similar circumstances. So now they're going to pay onto that. Oh, the girls just ran into the sea after their mother. So years later, this happened in 2022. They got to 2026, 16 years later. 16 years later is when 3 black women, the tragedy just hits them so much. Where was the signs? Where's all the signs?
And what makes it even more sketchy, in my opinion, is that they drove to Brighton instead of Birmingham. If they were going to pay tribute to their mother, surely they would go to the location of where their mother died. Why would they travel to Brighton? And when they get to Brighton, they drive all the way to the end of Madeira Drive, right to the deepest part of the beach, and all 3 of them find themselves in the water dead. See, some might allude to suicide, but then you got to think, what, all 3 of these girls, all 3 sisters, were feeling exactly the same way. They were all feeling suicidal. They all wanted to take their lives because of what happened to their mother 16 years prior. Really? And then it's back to the witnesses. But there was only one witness, because they're the ones that made this emergency call if it wasn't one of the sisters. I mean, by now, they would have told us it was one of the sisters that made the emergency call, but no, they haven't said that. All of the media reports are more or less implying that it was a witness that heard a person more or less struggling in the water. Key word, heard a person. Not people, not a group of girls, just one person. And whoever made that phone call didn't even go and help them. They decided to just get on with their day, get on with their morning. Make that make sense? And now that we're doing our own research, doing our own digging, trying to understand what's actually happened here, we're starting to stumble across more red flags. And one of those red flags, ladies and gentlemen, is the reporter from the Times. And why is it so important? Why is it so important to highlight this? It's because this is exactly what the media have been doing themselves. The media have been facilitating trolls, conspiracies, abuse, foul language. They've been facilitating it. They've been encouraging it. And then they've tried to flip it on its head by campaigning with people, with families, to silence the online world. This is exactly a prime example. We're going to get there, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button. Let's keep listening.
Going through something. I thought you said they were happy and good children and all this, like this stuff. I thought that's what their auntie, their stepmother, Barnaby, everybody was singing their praises. All of a sudden they were estranged from their family. How is it the same? How is it these same 3 girls having so complete different narratives? At first they were saying, they were making them out like they were wild, you know, they were wild and free spirits to the point they went out for a quick dip in the sea in Brighton, UK beach. If you might know what, hey, you don't even know the weather. Maybe some of you are there in Americas or whatever. Some of you, I'm thinking, imagine if New York had a lake. Yeah? Because people in America will understand New York weather. Do you understand? UK weather is not for the faint-hearted. Do you understand? We don't just be walking into our beaches and swimming in them at 5 in the fucking morning, darling. Do you understand? And it's not this whole conspiracy thing of, oh, now it means that they're just trying to cover up the murder. No, it's nothing to do with that. Because if the bodies, if the bodies actually existed, and if the people that they're trying to put on the bodies existed, then this story wouldn't have so many holes like that. Guys, don't act like you don't have people that have died and have been on the news. Go do the research for yourself. Compare people that you know, because I've already done it for myself. I'm just not going to disrespect my loved ones by using their tragedy, but you see what I'm saying? But I know live like evidence, even how a GoFundMe account goes with some. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I can compare, and I've already compared. But all of this stuff that I'm telling you guys now, it's not adding up. That's why they keep what? Changing the narrative. Yeah? Now all of a sudden there's so much stuff.
Changing the narrative quite a lot. It's like they're trying to figure things out. Because initially we were told these girls are out clubbing. They in fact went to David Attenborough's party or something like that. Apparently they were at a party and they were partying and decided whilst they were drunk to go to the sea and take a swim. See, that was the narrative that we were fed. Then all of a sudden we're being told that the girls travelled to Brighton to pay tribute to their mother. But this is after Kelechi told us about the mother situation. So it's kind of like someone just put two and two together and tried to force another fake narrative by saying, oh, well, if their mother died in a lake 16 years ago, they went to Brighton Beach to pay tribute to her. How do you work that one out? This is where it starts to become more sketchy, because when you start speaking to the family or the auntie and the stepmother, you kind of get the feeling that these people may have not have spoken to these three sisters for quite some time, which means if they can't prove that the sisters were there on that night and drove to the beach, then how do we not know that these sisters were dead prior to us being told they were dead? Because we've got nothing but an AI-generated image. No pictures of these girls whatsoever. And the family also haven't got any new pictures or any pictures whatsoever. But not only that, I'm pretty sure the media suggests that the relatives can't confirm the last time they spoke to these girls, which again makes one scratch their head and say, well, where have they been? Where have they been this whole entire time?
About the mother. Guys, you lot have been following the thing. When have you heard anything about, why didn't they mention once in the news article that their mother also drowned? Look at the original thingy. Let's even see. Yeah, let's even see. Because I haven't been closing my search boxes just to look, see? Woman who died in the sister. This is the article from Wednesday, 20th of May, 2026, yeah? Three siblings, all in their 30s, were from London. No words truly described the pain, blah, blah, blah. Sisters, in a statement released by the Force, their father, Joseph, has said losing his daughter has left an emptiness that the words cannot heal. Words cannot heal, yeah? This is the father, by the way. Let me show you the associate father that we're talking about. This is the father, Joseph Toro. Can you imagine? This one here, yeah? Joseph Toro. Just to confirm, see his father. His name, Father Joseph. Look, see here. Father Joseph, yeah? And then as you can see here, the elder sister is Ada Toro. So it would be what? Joseph Toro, yeah? And we know it's the same Joseph Toro because look, yeah, this is him, yeah? This is the dad, apparently. Who this is, looks like one of the girls that was in there. So that's what also doesn't make sense, yeah? No, it doesn't even look like one of the girls.
Same guy. That is definitely the same guy, though.
There's so many kid pictures with these dots as well. It's so weird, yeah? We don't know who's family, who's not. It's just weird vibes, yeah? Nothing to do with the thingy, nothing to do with what's going on. Yeah, look, the post is about a cancer research thing. Look, fundraising, and every year he does this. Yeah, look, see, now leukemia. Yeah, 140 raised. Want to join me in supporting a good cause? I'm raising money for Leukemia UK, and your contribution will make an impact, whether you donate a little or a lot or a little. Anything helps. Thank you for your support. I've included information about Leukemia UK below. Leukemia UK funds research and care for families going through any blood cancer. Wow. Just what? Charities, yeah, constantly funding. Constantly trying to look for my birthday again. This year, I'm asking for donations. Cancer Research UK, I'm choosing the charity because their mission means a lot to me, and I hope that you'll consider contributing as a way of celebrating with me. Every little bit will help me reach my goal. I've included information about Cancer Research UK below. Together, we will beat cancer. Facebook takes care of the donation processing with no fees. What? Do you see?
I mean, at this point, we can say that cancer just means a lot to him because all of the charities that he is trying to raise money for are cancer-based charities.
Yeah, in 2021. Anyway, I've already showed you guys the guy on Joseph Toro, but look. Like I said, he's on this guy, Soji Adetorian. Remember who Soji is? Soji is the brother of Joseph. Yeah, that's the narrative that they're telling us. This is the brother, Soji. Yeah, look, he's the one that set up the GoFundMe. This appeal is being made on behalf of my brother Joseph and the family following the devastating loss of his three beloved daughters, Jane, Christina, and Rebecca, who tragically lost their lives in the sea at Brighton on 13th of May 2026. As a family, we are still struggling to come to terms with what has happened. The girls had had so much life ahead of them, and their loss has left a pain and emptiness in our words. The same people that have been estranged, they've been so estranged that they don't even have up-to-date pictures, but the ones who don't GoFundMe accounts. Hey, you man.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's so true. They have no pictures of these girls. But this is the dad's brother, the auntie. They've all come forward with this AI-generated image asking people to just donate to this GoFundMe. A GoFundMe which has generated over £40,000 since it was set up 3-4 days ago. What's also weird, and Ayani's going to explain in this video, is that no one's actually paying tribute to these girls. The posts are literally a generic written message like the one we see on the screen. This has been written by a chatbot, ChatGPT, and this same message has also been used on other profiles, copy and paste settings. But all we have is this message with a GoFundMe link and the AI-generated image of these three girls. No social media links for these girls, no social media handles, no other images other than AI-generated.
You know, this girl has left a pain and emptiness in her heart. No parent should ever have to bury their child, let alone all three. While trying to process this unimaginable tragedy, my brother is now also faced with the heartbreaking task of arranging 3 funerals. I bet see these funerals that they've wrapped bags and bags for, you know. As a family, we simply want to give the girls a loving and dignified. In fact, Keleshnikov, please, you've been the one that had the first access, so I hope you'll be invited to the funeral. You can show us where the money, the GoFundMe that you was promoting, you promoted it. Guys, I never want you not to forget how hard Keleshnikov, sorry, my bad, Keleshnikov was promoting these things. Yeah, I never want us to forget this. Now, we are humbly asking for any support that you may be able to offer towards the funeral expenses. Any contribution, no matter how small, will ease the burden on the family during this incredibly difficult time. Yeah, look at this shit. Yeah, look at this. The only thing 3 days ago, and then nothing to do with the family, the girls, nothing, no additives, no tributes, no nothing. The last post was on 14th of January. Can you imagine? And this is the same one that's done the work, the GoFundMe.
He hasn't made a post since the 14th of January. And that post with the GoFundMe link would have been the first post and the only post. No tributes paid thereafter with other photos of these girls. All we have is this photo, which is meant to be a real photo that we can see on the screen of the dad and the girls. And it makes me think that maybe, just maybe, this is the only image that the dad has of the girls because he hasn't seen them since they were children. That's just my feelings behind it. Otherwise, by now, almost a week in, you would have been able to publish a new image of your daughters. And that's not just him, that's the auntie, that's anyone that's involved in this. Where are the images of these girls? You can't tell me a 36-year-old, a 32-year-old, and a 31-year-old has no social media presence whatsoever. That makes no sense.
Yeah, so this is somebody else involved. We've got a Jick Johnson. Who Jick Johnson is, we don't even know, yeah? We don't even understand what is going on right now, yeah? Is Jick the guy? Is Jick the guy? Is he the girl? Who knows, yeah? But anyway, let's go to Jick. Jick has posted something about speaking to a reporter. Look, see? It's got the pinned Soji's Adetero's GoFundMe thing. It's with a heavy heart this morning that I'm reaching out to the family and friends. On May the 13th, my brother Joseph received the tragic news that his three beautiful daughters, Jane 36, Christina 26, and Becky 21. So who is even Lillian then?
Hold on. Why are the ages wrong? Jane 36, Christina 26, and Becky 21. We heard 36, 32, and 31. Now we've got different ages.
Another daughter? So how many daughters does my man have? Because look at all the other children he had on his page, Joseph. What's going on here? Also, what Lillian is the brother, Joseph's brother's daughter. Okay. Anyway, this is all funny, bruv. There has been a massive media interest in the case and heavy social media speculation. Yet right now, all our family can do is process the shock of this immense loss. I would like to ask each and every one if they could either please donate, wow, always begging for money, share, or keep my brother Joseph and the family in your prayers, and for my Reiki tribe to send as much healing possible. Please take a look at our GoFundMe page. Wow, your support would be so appreciated. I want to apologize to the whole of my family, especially my big brother Joseph. What? Yesterday, against Joseph's better judgment, I persuaded him to allow me, what is going on, and his wife Genevieve to give comment to the media outlets in order that our Just Fund Me page could connect to a wider audience. Devastated is an understatement at how the media chose to misrepresent and manipulate my words and add further insult to our already devastated family. Joseph, I am truly so sorry. This is the most weirdest shit, guys. Yo, I can't believe. This is why I say to you, this is what happens, right, when we live in a world, yeah, and the originals aren't in the positions that they should be. This is what happens when you have NPCs running things. This is why I tell you, this is why my whole framework about meta versus non-meta, because I promise you, if I was in a position of authority and that case had been dropped on my desk, yeah, if this is all legit, if there's actually 3 bodies, because we all know this, the stories and the names and the profiles that they're putting is all fake, yeah, but if there's actually 3 bodies, there's no way I would have accepted this storyline. So what is going on? I don't even know. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But it's the staff that can't even do no critical thinking and assess what it is what's going on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because what is this? Look at what's going on. This is mad. A journalist from the Times Online contacted our family seeking comment on the social media speculations and theories surrounding the deaths of Jane, Christina, and Becky. During a conversation via Facebook Messenger, journalist Shaima Bakht agreed to send me a draft for approval before publication. However, the screenshots below clearly demonstrate serious misrepresentation and factual inaccuracies in both her reporting. I bet all of this is fake as well. I bet this shit. Oh, listen.
It's not even fake. So the person that Shaima, the reporter from the Times, spoke to is outing her right here by basically saying what you're publishing is BS. It makes you question why Shaima from the Times would come out and the first thing she says in her video is the family don't want you to speak about this story anymore. Why would you say that when that's not what the family have said?
Woo! Misrepresentation and factual inaccuracies in both her reporting and the article published by the Times Online. Other media outlets have since repeated expats from this inaccurate story.
Yeah,
I was falsely...
The same thing was happening with what? The JAY SLATER case, isn't it? The same thing was happening with the JAY SLATER case, and then the media flipped it on its head and use Debbie Duncan to target content creators and call us tragedy trolls when the media were the first platforms to spread misinformation. The media, all of them. All of those platforms, The Sun, The Mirror, The Times, The Daily Telegraph, Metro, every single one of you published misinformation, and you're all monetized. So off the back of misinformation, you got paid. You got paid off misinformation. And then they've got the audacity to platform people to target content creators talking about, but they're monetized. They're monetized. I'm sorry, Shema, for you being used as the example here. But what you did is deceitful. It's poor journalism. It's poor reporting. It's misinformation, potentially disinformation. And now off the back of that, ladies and gentlemen, Shema has deleted that video. And don't go anywhere because we're still yet to get to the messages. We're still yet to get to the messages that Shema, the journalist, sent over this family member. Let's keep listening.
As saying that the girls had gone to Brighton as a tribute to their mother. I had also provided sensitive background information regarding the circumstances of their late mother's death, which appears to have been mishandled and misrepresented. At a time of immense grief and vulnerability, the Times Online has not only exploited this tragedy for headlines, but has also abused the trust placed in them by our family. We were reassured that the article would help address harmful speculation and unfounded rumours. Instead, it has contributed to them. This is a serious breach of trust and raises wider concerns about the responsibility.
That's exactly what the media done with the Jay Slater case. They fueled the conspiracies. What they said, including what Mark Williams Thomas had to say, fueled the conspiracies. It was all purposely done. It was engineered to look a certain way. And they're doing exactly the same thing with this one right here.
Of media outlets to report accurately and ethically. Shame on this journalist and on every media outlet that has repeated and amplified this misleading story, adding further distress to an already grieving family.
But if we look at these pictures that have been sent over to the journalist via Facebook Messenger, again, none of these images are showing the sisters as adults. All what we see are children.
Of their late mother's death, which appears to have been mishandled and misrepresented. At a time of immense grief and vulnerability, the Times Online has not only exploited this tragedy for headlines, but has also abused the trust placed in them by our family. We were reassured that the article would help address harmful speculation and unfounded rumours. Instead, it has contributed to them. This is a serious breach of trust and raises wider concerns about the responsibility of media outlets to report accurately and ethically. Shame on this journalist and on every media outlet that has repeated and amplified this misleading story, adding further distress to an allegedly grieving family. Yeah, this is so crazy. Is this how a journalist is going to talk to you through Facebook Messenger? Because this is the same shit that, what's it called again? What's her name? This is the same shit that thingy woman was.
It would have been the voice note that the journalist tried to play to us in her video. Let's just quickly read what was said here. Help raise 10,000 in the loving memory of Jane, Christina and Becky. Can't see the rest of the message, but it's a Just Giving page, it looks like. Then the reporter, Shema, she responds saying, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Thank you. Let me know if Joseph sends any updated pictures. So this is where it starts to get extremely sketchy. And I even think Shema was feeling this way when she was sending this message, hence why she asked if Joseph could send any updated pictures. She goes on to say, where are you based, just for my knowledge? And are the family staying with you at the moment? Basically, just want to say, Jick Johnson from her home in Birmingham told the Times that the family feel blah, blah, blah. What? Shema responds to one of the audios saying, did you stay with Joseph in London then? Just trying to add some description as the article is lacking it, as usually these pieces are face-to-face, and I would set the scene with me visiting your home. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this one is extremely dodgy. The bottom line is there's a lot of misinformation going around. We don't know when the last time these three sisters were alive. We don't even know. We've got no evidence, no pictures, no videos, no social media handles to see if they were recently posting, like nothing. Not even the family are able to produce updated images or videos. And then at the same time, we have this reporter who's spreading misinformation, asking people to stop talking about it. Why? Make it make sense. So not only do we have no evidence to prove that the girls are actually there at that time on that day, but we don't even have any proof of life in recent times. Like, and the family can't even provide that. Anyway, guys, leave all your thoughts and your comments down below. I need to know exactly what you're thinking at this moment in time. If there are any further updates, if there's anything that's important that I do need to bring to your attention, more red flags, more inconsistencies, anything that's more mysterious, then, you know, we're going to be back here with another video talking about this case. If not, we won't be back with a video regarding this case until we get information from that inquest. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hit that like button, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out. If you're newly watching, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.